like a discomfort or a fear of doing it wrong, or that people will criticize you because it doesn't look very good at first, or that you just feel in general that it's not good enough. And one thing I do share a lot in the bridge clinic that I'm creating is what my bridges looked like at first. And you see this very slow progression. And I mean, yeah, they look terrible at first, but I am so proud of myself for being vulnerable enough with myself to actually get this party started. And they've made a lot of progress in 2 years. And I want you to know that it's been 2 years. Like, I literally have taken that long to make progress. Like, I think I'm very slow at learning stuff. And I just want you to feel comfortable knowing that you're not expected to look like the way a contortionist does it, you know, after doing like 3 or 4 or 6 weeks of this, you know what I mean? So I actually didn't even feel comfortable doing a back bridge clinic because I don't look like a contortionist when I do back bridges. But then I realized that I'm actually an expert in teaching people how to approach back bridges without crapping your pants and dying. Like, how do you actually approach this in a way where you're not going to get injured? You're actually going to improve your back line strength and have control over your joints in more challenging ranges of motion. So, back bridge prerequisites. What do we need? We're going to need strong glutes, because that's what allows you to extend your hips up towards the ceiling as much as humanly possible. And I want you to know that after my back bending sessions, I have DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness, in my glutes so bad for the next 2 days. Yeah, like, I've never extended my hips so much in my life. And you have to keep your glutes on the whole time. The moment they disengage, you're going to start dumping into your shoulders painfully, your low back painfully. So glute strength is obviously a big part of this. And we're going to do exercises to wake up the glutes today. We need flexible hip flexors, meaning they need to actually open up so we can fully extend our hips. We need flexible pecs and lats so that we can fully open up the shoulders. And I'm going to show you different stretches we can do to open that up. Strong triceps so that we can actually push ourselves up into a bridge. And that's why we do so many dog push-ups all the time. And we need a strong core, obviously, which we've all achieved at this point. And that will just allow us to have our hips and shoulders and our spine actually open up. We need a strong rotator cuff. And you're going to notice we do a lot of rotator cuff exercises in this clinic, which is also useful for handstands too. And this is going to really help you to stabilize your shoulders and support your shoulder blades while they're in an externally rotated position. And we're going to talk more about that in the shoulder wrap in a moment. We need, obviously, flexible wrists. And at first, when you learn a bridge, it's really hard to stack your shoulders directly over your wrists. So you're kind of more slanted, and that creates a sharper angle at the wrist, which can be quite uncomfortable. So I'm going to show you ways that you can scale it so that you're not in wrist misery. Hello, Nicole, you made it. Nice to see you. And obviously, one of the key points with back bridges, because we're not 8 years old, we need a proper warm-up. Like, we really are going to be spending this whole, like, we're going to literally spend like the next hour and a half where I'm taking you through all the preparatory steps so that at the end, we're going to do bridges. Okay? And so the whole idea here is that we're going to improve our back line strength, everything from like our neck extension strength, our thoracic spine extension, our lumbar extension, our hip extension. Like, we're going to get that whole back line stronger and firing, which is really important because we spent so much time in the Strength Academy developing our front line strength, our compression. And so if we don't balance that out, you see how we've created a massive imbalance, which is why we can't overlook why back bending is important, even though it's not exactly the most pleasant experience in the world. But it actually does become more pleasant the stronger your back line gets. And the stronger everything gets, obviously you're more stable, and then your spine and your hips and your shoulders start to give you a permission slip to let them open more. So let's talk about the shoulder wrap. I've brought this up a few times in the previous Zooms, and I printed out some photos that I can show you in better detail. So the shoulder wrap, what this means is that we're actually in shoulder external rotation in a bridge, which means we're actually doing shoulder internal torque in order to achieve the external rotation position. For any of you who were with me back in the Strong Fit days, Julian used to always give that lecture with the peg stick, how he would show when he bends it, even though he's torquing in, you can see how the shoulder is externally rotating. So it seems kind of confusing when you say, oh, you're internally torquing, but you're external rotation at the shoulders. So this is something that we're actually doing in handstands and in bridges, or anytime you're doing anything on, you can't see my hands. I really hope the cats will behave. Can't promise. So anytime you're like basically pushing with your arms like this, you're creating that inner energy, that internal torque, and it actually puts the shoulders in an externally rotated position, which is just so counterintuitive. So I'm actually thinking of, remember Julia was saying, watch your elbow pits. Make sure that you don't have like that one wonky elbow pit that faces forward while the other one's actually torquing in. So you want to make sure they are torquing in. So it's like you're trying to bring your forearms into each other. So when you externally rotate your shoulders in a bridge, what that does is it slides your shoulder blades away from your spine. Why is this important? Why do we want the shoulder blades to move away from the spine? Why wouldn't we want them crunching in towards the spine? Why do we want them away from the spine in a back bridge or a handstand? I'll show you a picture of it so that maybe you'll figure out the answer. So if you look at me in the handstand here, this isn't a handstand, and this is, I videoed myself doing a bridge from a really weird angle. Can you see how my shoulder blades are moved to the sides of my rib cage? Like they're moving like east and west. Can you see that? Same here. You can really see the shoulder blades sticking to the sides of my rib cage. So they're not smooshing in together into my spine. And by having them slide apart like that, what this does is it creates space for your spine, your thoracic spine, and your neck to extend, which is important in a back bridge. You actually need to be able to do that in a back bridge. So when you do this shoulder wrap, what happens is your armpits will be facing, okay, so it's actually better to use the diagrams so you can see it better. So in a bridge, when I'm doing the shoulder wrap, my armpits are facing the other way. So if I'm doing it against a wall, like my chest is facing the wall here, my armpits are facing the wall. Or like if I'm doing the nose and toes wall facing handstand, my armpits are facing the wall. And my index fingers in the bridge will be facing towards my heels, or with the wall facing handstand, they're facing towards the wall. And what the shoulder wrap does is it allows you to feel a really nice stretch in your lats. And we're going to do a puppy pose together so you can learn the concept of the shoulder wrap and feel that stretch in the lats. So obviously if we do a bridge with our arms internally rotated, then your shoulder blades are going to smoosh into your spine. There's going to be no room for your spine to be able to extend, and you won't be able to extend your neck either. So in a handstand, it's the same thing. You're going to be thinking about your shoulder blades moving to the sides of your rib cage and the scapula, like the shoulder blades spread apart. And so what this does is it keeps your shoulder blades stable. And so your balance in a handstand is superior. And now that I've started applying this to my handstands, it took me a while to figure it out and actually make it happen for myself. But once I actually made it happen for myself, now when I hold a handstand, I do not even wiggle. Like sometimes people are like, wait, is that a picture or a video? Okay. So it's kind of cool if you can start to kind of figure this out and start to apply it to your handstands as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this party started. We're going to get a foam roller to kick things off. We're going to roll out our quads so that we can open up our hips and start extending the hips. And so grab a foam roller. Let me angle this down so you can see me. And just put one leg on the foam roller, the other one can come to the side. And just start rolling up and down on one quad. and you can tap and release. When you find a spot on your quad that doesn't feel so good. Now take it to the hip flexor. So you can see the foam rollers right over my hip flexor. And keeping your hips square, I want you to maximally straighten that leg. Like straighten it as hard as possible. Maximum straight, maximum toe point. And now engage the glute and raise your straight leg. Keeping it straight, maximum straight, hips square, bring it down. Do this a few times. I want you to really feel your glute max burning, and all I care is that your leg is maximum straight. Feel your hip flexor opening up as you get into that end range hip extension. You can hold the end range, hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, bring it down. Same thing on the other side. So roll up the quad, tack and release it as needed. Now, get it over the hip flexor and maximum straight leg, maximum toe point. Find your glute, engage it first, then lift. Lift maximum straight leg, lower. Do this a few times to really connect to your glute. Keep the leg maximum straight. Hold the last rep for 5, 4, 3, get it higher, 2, 1. Next. So that's just a really good way to get the party started for opening up your hips. Now grab your foam roller and just open up your thoracic spine a bit. So I clasp my hands behind my head and I just start rolling my upper back area. And then I put my bum down. And I start to extend my T-spine over the foam roller. See if you can get your elbows to tap the floor. You can change the position of the foam roller to make it easier or more difficult. Don't forget to extend your neck. Very nice. Feels nice too. I love that one, especially in the morning. All right. Let's just make sure everything's tractioned and open up. I want you to hang from your bar. And you're going to do shoulder width apart with a pronated grip. Shoulder width apart. Maximum shoulder elevation. Your lats are engaged, so we're applying the inner energy. If you don't have a bar, then just hold this position like what Julie and Adeline are doing. And try to find the shoulder wrap. You can actually see I'm going between the shoulder wrap, so internal rotation to external rotation. So I'm playing around with that to find the feeling. Feeling my shoulder blades go apart. And once you feel satisfied, you can come out. All right, we're going to do a stretch for the pecs. I know a lot of us have tight pecs, myself included. And we've done this one, I believe it's in unit 3, the pec front deltoid stretch. You might remember it. So what we do is we get onto the floor, and if you recall, we have a 90-degree bend in the elbow. And then we take the opposite leg, so bring it up and over. It actually feels really nice on your spine too. And you want to feel this stretch in the pec. Don't hold your breath, make sure you're breathing. If you don't feel anything at all, you can play around with the positioning of your arm. And Otherwise, you might actually not have tight pecs. And move to the other side. Leg up and over. Good. All right. We finished up part one. So let's move on to the next part. We're going to start activating. Did you feel it in your pecs when you did that? Yes? Yes? Okay, good, good. All right, so we're going to move on to everybody's least favorite exercise. Can anybody guess what that is?
L-sit.
Nope. But I think that's the second least favorite exercise. I have the same attitude towards them too, but damn, L-sits. We're going to hint, you need a yoga block, a foam yoga block. Child's pose leg lifts. Oh, yeah. Do you see how I got you ready for it on the foam roller? See how it's like an easy version of it with the straight leg on the foam roller? Yeah, so I can warm you up for them. So, child's pose leg lifts. This is going to help you improve your end range hip extension, really find the glute ham tie-in. Make sure you understand that it's the glute that lifts up the straight leg. So take your yoga block and put it against your Achilles and between your bum and your Achilles. Then take your other leg and put it out maximum straight. I mean maximum straight, maximum toe point. Okay, like cramp up getting it so straight. Put both arms down on the floor like you're doing a child's pose. To make it easier, you can bring yourself up more. If you're new to this, you can do that. But if you've been doing this for a while, I want you closer to the floor. And find your glute first, and then raise your maximum straight leg, keeping it maximum straight, and lower. Do it 5 times, and on the 5th breath, you're going to hold it for 5 counts. All I care is that you're maximum straight and that your hips are square. Keep going, I'm going to watch you. Nicole, I think you could get your upper body closer to the floor because that looks really easy for you. Yeah, make it spicier. You do a really nice job, Nicole, with the maximum straight leg. And then when you're ready, you're going to switch over to the other side. Remember to find your glute max first before you lift. Oh. I tend to get a bit of a cramp in my opposite oblique, which makes sense because it's stabilizing. How'd y'all do? Keep going, I'm not rushing you. You can finish those up before we move on. Okay, did everybody find their bums? Well, not that we have more than one bum, but did you find your right and left glutes? Good. So now now that the glutes are starting to turn on, we're going to really find them with the yoga glute bridge, which I put into the first part of the back bending clinic. So the yoga glute bridge is a slight variation of the glute bridge. My feet are hip width apart, And I'm going to lift up my bum and clasp my hands under my bum, and then straighten my arms out, maximum straight, and tractioning them, like making my arms as long as humanly possible. Now I'm really opening up my heart towards the ceiling. Like I'm trying to get my glutes to touch the ceiling. And then I'm going to maximally extend my hips as much as possible. Can I get my hips to touch the ceiling? Okay, I'm going to come down and watch you do it and talk you all through it. All right, so I want your knees stacked over your ankles. So Nicole, can you bring your heels towards your bum more? Yes. Same with you, Tammy. Can you bring your feet a little bit closer to your bum? Just scooch them in. Yes, good. All right. Now I want you to press more weight through your right heel for me and hold it and really connect to your right bum. Now switch to pressing more through the left heel and really connect to your left bum. And now go back to both heels pressing and give me more hip extension than you had before. Touch the ceiling. I want your hips to touch the ceiling. Keep holding it. So pretend I've tied a chain around your waist and I'm trying to pull it up towards the ceiling. Lovely. Can you get your arms straighter, Josie, when you do it? Like pretend I'm grabbing you by the wrists and yanking your hands towards your feet when you do it. Yes. Renee, that looks beautiful. Very good. All right. Come down. Give your bum a chance to relax. Did you find your bum? Did you start to feel your chest opening up too? Okay, good. I like this style of bridge because it's obviously also opening up the heart, which is preparing us for the back bending. All right, let's make sure our shoulders are in good working order. So grab some type of a longer band, and we're going to do banded rear delt flies. You can do them standing or seated. I'm gonna stay seated so you can see me better. All I care is that you connect to your rear delts when you do this, both of them. Arms are maximum straight. So pretend I'm pulling your arms out of their sockets. And don't snap back, so control on the way back. If you need to pulse at the end range to really connect to your delts, then by all means do that. So do about 10 reps in total. Arms are maximum straight. Make sure your core is engaged so that you're not dumping into your low back. In fact, doing it cross-legged is good too, because it prevents that. Or if your leg's out in front. Woo! Did you find your rear delts? Can you give me thumbs up if you found your rear delts? Winning, winning. All right, so now you're going to need a booty band, a loop band. One of these. And you're gonna take your hands and put it into the band so that your thumbs are underneath, like that. See that? Okay, so we're gonna start first in an easier range. Arms are maximum straight. Pretend I'm tractioning them out of their sockets. And now rotate so that your thumbs are facing up. Once you get comfortable with that feeling, guess what we're gonna do? Exactly, Dalji. We're going to bring our arms, I'll make sure you can see me, all the way overhead. And then we're going to maximum expand, apply that shoulder wrap, and then make the thumbs point backwards. So we're externally rotating. And you'll feel the resistance of the band. Ooh. And to make sure you're not dumping into your low back, you can put your legs out in front like this as well. Let me see. Keep going. Okay. Talk to me. Did something not feel right, or is it a thumbs up or a thumbs backwards? Yeah, that's better, Tammy, when you go maximum straight. Everything's maximum. That's what I learned from the Russians. The teacher's always like, maximum straight leg, maximum bum, maximum toe point. Everything's maximum. Okay. What do you think of that one? Did it show that one side's not as good as the other? Josie, what side's not as good for you? Your left side. Yeah, same with me too. It's like there's gremlins and spider webs on my left. All right, so you know to add that one into your regimen more often. Same here. Okay, we're going to work on some internal rotation as well for the shoulder. So we're going to go against the wall. Just kind of angle this. So standing up. You can have your feet far away from the wall. I'm okay with that. But your back is, and your bum and your back is touching the wall. And your thumbs are pointing down. And you're going to have maximum straight arms. Keeping your palms facing the wall. See if you can bring them up and down like a snow angel. Do it 5 times. Some of you will find this super, super easy. And some of you will find like one side is like super, super tight. So hold it in the T position and then switch to external, so thumbs up, maximum straight arms. Then switch it to internal, so your palm is touching the wall. Other way, and just do that a few times. Now, with the thumbs facing up, keep your hands touching the wall and try and touch your ears 5 times. Some good nerve flossing will happen in there. You might notice one side's icky. Okay, did any of you have any discoveries doing that? Like, did you notice there was a massive discrepancy with one side versus the other? Or is everything okay in general?
My left side seems to jerk more on the movement, so I feel as if I've got an impingement there.
Were you keeping your thumbs down though?
Yeah. It actually hurts a little bit to do that. I've actually been for acupuncture today for it, so.
Okay, when you do that, make sure this doesn't displace forward, because that's what we'll compensate is we'll go like this. We'll shrug it and displace it forward. So you want to make sure everything stays put when you do that. For me, my left side is it feels tight, and I need to do like nerve flossing. So I just wanted to add that into the mix so that you can be aware if there's some issues in your rotator cuff that you need to work on, and if so, do these particular exercises. Okay, we're going to do the shoulder alphabet, but we're only going to work on the W to I. So I'll quickly demonstrate it, and then I'm going to get you to do it. So lie down on your tummy. You can just watch me do it at first. So I'm lying on my tummy, and I'm putting my arms with the thumbs up at my sides. So from the front view, they're like this. my forehead is going to be staying on the floor the whole time. I'm going to raise up, using my back muscles to raise the arms up. So it's not like this, it's not like this. The forearms are parallel with the floor. And I'm going to bring it to the eye position. Maximum straight, maximum expansion. And then bring it back down to the W. And you're going to do this 5 to 8 times for me. And you're going to hold your left eye for 5 counts. So the way to understand what's going on is to literally pretend you're holding a yoga block between your hands when you do it. So that way your hands stay like with the yoga block concept the whole time and you don't end up doing like something like this. So it's not like a lat pull down. So I'm literally pretending that I have like this imaginary yoga block in my hands the whole time. Give it a go. I'm gonna watch. So thumbs are up. Tammy, you lost your yoga block. You got really wide on me. Yeah, that's better. That's better. And then stay tight to the yoga block coming back down. And then you really retract when you do the W. Just so your elbows are higher than your hands. Yeah, oh, interesting. Okay, there we go. Nice control, Nicole. And really retract when you do the W. Like ask yourself if you can actually get your forearms a little bit higher up off the floor when you're doing the W part. Good, Renee. Those look really nice. Hold that last eye. We'll let Tammy and Nicole finish up Indulge. Jessica's holding her eye like a boss. Yeah. Nice. All right. Nobody likes those. Stay there because we're going to do upper body arch ups with the yoga block. I will quickly demonstrate it. So the yoga block is between your forearms, thumbs up. You can have your legs more than shoulder width apart for this. Thumbs up. Maximum straight arms, maximum expansion, maximum extension of the neck as you lift up. And bring it back down. The last thing that comes down is your neck. So the neck stays maximally extended the whole time. So watch again. Extend the neck, scoop it up. Keep the neck extended, keep the neck extended. Then let it come down. Okay, let me watch you. Nice, Josie. Somebody's been practicing. Whoa, Nicole, you're like lifting all the way to the other side of the room. So keep your feet on the ground for this. Thumbs are up. Remember, we're lifting with the mid and upper back. So don't really think so much, oh, I have to lift my arms up. Think of, oh, my back needs to help me make this happen. Renee, can you keep your feet on the ground when you do that? So hold your last one for me for 5 counts. And then we're going to do lower body arch-ups. So I'll let you finish up. So for the lower body arch-ups, the legs will be more than shoulder width apart. And you can just rest your hands, rest your forehead on your hands or like on your cranium like this. And maximum straight legs, maximum toe point. Find your glute max first before you even begin. So watch me find that first. Then I maximally lift, maximum straight leg, and lower. Find my glutes, lift, maximum straight, and lower. So, you know those two bony prominences on our hips, the anterior superior iliac spines, the ASISs? Think of pushing them hard into the floor as you extend your hips. So give it a whirl. Maximum straight legs. So you're going to feel your glutes on fire and how that allows your hips to open up more. Really good, Josie. Jessica, I want maximum toe point. The more you point your toes freaking hard, it's going to straighten out your legs way more. That's really good, Delji. Beautiful. Hold your last one for me for 5 counts. I'll do it with you. Woohoo! Oh, doing that. You should feel like your lumbar erectors working, your glutes working together to make all of that happen. How you doing? Did you find your bum? Good. At this point, you should almost be ready to fry egg whites on your glute max muscles. So we're going to finish off the glutes with some Sphinx kicks. So I'll demonstrate. I'm going to get into a comfy Sphinx position. And my legs are pretty much together, like they're pretty close together. They're like hip width apart, not more. And first I'm going to find my mid back. So I'm going to retract and release. I just want to make sure that that's firing and that I'm able to extend my T-spine. And that helps me get really comfortable in this position. All right, the next step is to press both of those ASISs hard into the floor while maintaining that retracted position in the upper back. Maximum straight leg, maximum toe point. Press those ASISs, both of them into the ground, and lift it up. And bring it down. I want you to do 5 slow and controlled ones per side, and you hold the last one for 5 counts, and then switch to the other side. I'm going to come to the computer and watch you do it and do it with at the same time. So first find the mid-back retraction. Don't even worry about your legs yet. So see if you can open your heart, like I'm trying to explode my boobs towards you, or my heart out my chest. It actually feels really nice. Okay, and then when you're ready, about hip width apart, maximum straight leg. Push those ASISs into the ground Keep them pressing into the ground. I don't care if you don't lift it very high. All I care is that it's maximum straight. Find your bum. And remember to hold your last one for me. Good. So the key is to really think about both of those ASISs staying in contact with the floor. Because if one lifts up, then you've lost your square hips. Okay. So let's move on to finding the shoulder wrap. We're going to do shoulder opening. And we're going to do kind of like a variation of a puppy pose. I have a picture of it here. Okay, make sure you can see that. This one here. So I'm just putting my hands on my barbell up on my rack there. To make it easier, the hips will actually be behind the knees. So the knees would be moved in closer. To be ideal, you want the hips stacked over the knees, but that's more challenging. What I'm doing here is like die. You can see the knees are quite far back. So when you're first starting out, I suggest you have your knees closer. You can make them wide too to make it easier at first. So wider than hip width apart. So let's go over to the barbell. I'm going to demo it and then I'll get you to do it. I don't care what you use. You can use like the side of a couch, the side of a bed. You could use like even like a chair. I've done it on a chair before. Daljit, you could use your chairs if you want. I'm trying to think. Does everybody have something they can use? I've even used like my pink mats. Like those things over there. So I'll give you a chance to find something and I'm going to set my station up. And if you don't have something, you can even do this on the floor, just like the way my cats do it. Okay. So the goal here is that we want to find the shoulder wrap, and we know that we found it when we feel the stretch in our lats. So I'm going to I'll start with my knees closer and more than shoulder width apart. My hands are shoulder width apart. And I'm first of all applying the handstand push. Watch what happens. Boom! I'm pushing as if I'm doing a handstand. So I'm really expanding, making my arms as long as possible. Then I'm going to think of my shoulder blades as moving to the sides of my rib cage, like they're spreading apart. And I'm going to bring my head through. And I'm still maintaining that handstand push. I'm pushing like a mofo. My head comes through so that my nose and forehead are moving towards the floor. And I'm really thinking of the shoulder blades moving to the sides of my rib cage. And I'm still applying that push. And I'm doing this nice and slow. This can take me 30 to 60 seconds to do the whole thing. And I'm letting myself open up. And then to come out, I'm going to move slowly, come out of the shoulder wrap, and I can just scoot my legs in closer like that to come out. So I kind of reverse body weight out of it. So for the first one, I suggest you start with your knees closer. And then for your second one, you can see if you can get your hips stacked more over the shoulders. So I can talk you through this. So first, get yourself in a position where you can really find the handstand push so that you can be maximum straight arms, maximum tractioning there, just like you're pushing in a handstand. Keep the arms straight. Now start to relax your head and chest towards the floor slowly. And if you need to tinker with your knee position, go ahead and do that. If you need to slide them forwards or backwards, go ahead and do that. Now apply the shoulder wrap. So this means that your armpits are actually going to face towards the floor. And you're going to feel your shoulder blades sliding towards the sides of your ribs away from your spine, which will allow you to extend your T-spine, which is what you should be doing now. Just like the way my cats do this. If you have cats, the way they actually get that nice arch in their upper spine. And you're going to feel the stretch in your lats. I find that I have to literally hold this for 30 to 60 seconds to really deepen. Renee, that looks beautiful. Nicole, that looks beautiful too. So Nicole, I think that next time when you do round 2, you can definitely get your knees moved back more. This is going to really make this more strength intensive, which means now we're actually strengthening the shoulder wrap. Think of the strength you need in the push of a bridge. That kind of strength. So by moving your knees back, you're going to add more weight bearing to your shoulders. If it's too intense, back off. You don't ever want to force anything we're doing that feels awful. So let's do round 2. And feel free to back up your knees. And remember, you can make it easier by spreading your knees apart more. So I'll do this one with you. So hands shoulder width apart. And find that maximum push. Maximum push. Start to get the shoulder wrap happening. Armpits are facing towards the floor. Head pokes through so that the forehead and nose are coming towards the floor. As you spread your shoulder blades apart, start to extend your T-spine. So it's like your butt is shooting up towards the ceiling. And you start to reverse body weight out of it, bring your knees closer to help you get out. So right about now, you should be feeling like your arms are like, woohoo! Talk to me. Were you miserable? Did you love it? Is this your new favorite thing? I do this every day now. It's really helpful with my
right here, there was like almost too much of a stretch.
Yeah.
And it almost hurt. So I think I was going a little bit too deep.
Too far.
And it was on both sides. It was,
So listen to the feedback of your body, and you can either bring your knees in closer or just bring it up a bit more until it's more comfortable. But I've literally been doing this every day now for about 3 months, and I cannot believe the improvements in my shoulder wrap, my shoulder stability, my handstand, like my overhead opening. It's improved so much, especially with my stupid left side. So much better. So I'm a huge fan of this one, just really trying to understand that notion of the wrap. And you can do this even hanging from the bar, playing with the shoulder wrap. So let me, you can see my barbell, right? Or my bar. So what I do it from the front and the back view so you can see my armpits. So I'm in a handstand, so I get, oh, you can't even see me.
Yeah, the light, we lost you.
So what I'll do is I'll come over to this one instead. You can see this one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I don't like this one though. Okay. And so what I do to get that maximum push, so maximum shoulder elevation, and I'm applying the inward energy to turn on my lats. Now I'm spreading my shoulder blades apart. Now I'm going to squish them the other way. So I'm going between the external rotation and the internal rotation. And I just play with it like this. And it's really helped me improve my shoulder range of motion, just to be able to play with it in these extreme overhead positions. I mean, because obviously what's a prerequisite for handstands or bridges, you need to have active range of motion all the way to the overhead position. So,
I've been doing the hanging one for a few weeks now, just twice a week,
yes.
and it's really improved how long I can keep hanging, and it really feels stable in it. Made a massive difference.
And your shoulders
Massive.
are gonna feel safer too if you're actually learning how to like do this.
Yeah.
Like you will literally be able to like fall off a cliff, grab a tree, and you're gonna be fine no matter which way you go because you strengthen that. You have the mobility there. This is applicable for real life scary avalanche situations. Okay. So what's next on the list? Next on the list. And like another way you can scale that one if you don't want to use like a chair or an elevated thing is again just do it the way Bean and Coco do it. They just go like this. And this one forces you to extend your neck too, which is nice. All right, so let's move along to hip flexor opening. Yay! This is actually my least favorite. Hate it so much. But we're gonna do it together, and we're gonna reframe this. Guys are just having a sip of water now. And we're going to need a soft yoga block 4-inch for under your knee. So it doesn't bother your knee. And then if you have 2 other yoga blocks that you can use to hang onto for support. I'm trying to think of the best. I think the best view would be a side view. Yeah, like that. I think you can see that okay. All right, so I'm gonna I'll make sure you can really see me. Yeah, I think that's good. Okay, so when I first started learning this and I had super tight hip flexors, it was easier for me to have the yoga block closer to the wall. But if you really want to start opening up your hip flexor as you start to get more comfortable with this, you can start to move it further away from the wall, just so you can get a feel for where mine is. Let me get it really close. Okay, so like this is my hand, so you can kind of gauge it. And like it's not set in stone, you can always tinker with it as you're doing it to find what feels good for you. And then take the other 2 yoga blocks and just set them up because you're going to use them to hang on to for balance. So I put one like on each side like that. Now we're going to put the knee onto the yoga block, but you want to position it so that it's more the upper part, like the meaty part here, that will be contacting as we lunge forward. You don't want to be like right on the patella for obvious reasons. So to get into it, you can do this with me. You see how I'm kind of going more forward on it to position myself into it. So that way you can see when I lunge forward, I'm more ahead of the kneecap as opposed to being directly on it. So just get yourself set up. No rush here. Let's just all kind of get ourselves set up into position. I want you to be able to see my head and my arms though. Let me back it up. That's better. Okay. So pick a side. Okay, so everybody good? The first thing we're going to do is we're going to pull the string on the top of our head to make ourselves as tall as possible. Find the TVA, so scoop those abs in. And you can hang on to the wall behind you if you want. And squeeze whatever leg you have down. So for me, I have my left leg down. I'm going to squeeze my left glute max and release it 10 times. And every time you do that, feel your hip extending, feel it open up. Keep pulling the string on the top of your head. So it's like you're trying to make your femur bone as tall as possible too. Scoop in the abs, don't lose your TVA. after you've done 10 of those, you're going to hang onto the wall behind you and straighten your front leg. So I scooched it out. If you stay in the same position, all you do is you straighten the front leg. So I'll do that again so you can see. So I'm straightening it like I'm just scooching it out. Nothing else has changed. Now what we're going to do, hold a string on the top of our heads, find our balance, and use the glute of the rear leg to drive us forwards. You can put your hands on the yoga block. You put one hand on the knee. Hold the string on the top of your head and push your back foot into the wall to help you get the knee of the front leg more over the ankle. So it's like I'm pushing myself forward like that to really open up my split. Now I want you to touch your glute with the same side hand and squeeze it 5 times. I mean, do not come up. So you don't want to rise up as you're doing this. You want to stay with the hip moving down towards the floor. So every time I squeeze my glute, I can feel my split opening up more. And you can push your foot of the back leg into the wall to help you sink it open. Okay, how you doing? You okay? Staying down, so we're not rising up, we're staying down. We still have those low abs, the TBA scooped in. Take the same side hand as the foot that's on the wall and grab onto it. You can hang onto the yoga block to help you stabilize and grab onto that foot, but don't rise up. So don't come up like this, stay down. Once you've got a hold of that foot, I want you to push into your hand for 3, 2, 1, release. Exhale and pull your foot towards your bum. Woo! Do not rise up. Ready? We're gonna do that again. Push into your hand for 3, 2, 1 without rising up. Bring your heel towards your bum. Ooh, yum. One more time. Push into your hand for 3, 2, 1 without rising up. See if you can tap your heel to your bum. Ooh, that feels awful. Now release it back to the wall and see if you sink further. Oh yeah, oh yeah. So you can see my knee is moving forward over this ankle. So I'm able to push this foot into the wall and really open up my split. Try and relax here now. Try and feel your hip like moving down towards the floor. Pretend that the hip flexor is a melting marshmallow. Oh, nice. So nice. So nice. Now actively try to bring your foot towards your bum without rising up, sinking down. Try and do that 5 times. Oh, hamstring, hamstring. How you doing? Oh, I hate this. Oh, what is this torture? Don't lean forward. I want, see how I have the string pulling me up towards the ceiling? Yeah. So you can use the yoga blocks. What you can do to force yourself is move the yoga blocks backwards. So it forces you to stay more upright. Oh, I hate that. Don't you need that? I hate that. Okay, so now what we're going to do is see if we can raise the opposite arm up. Push your foot into the wall to open up your split. See if you can bring the other one up to match it and really sink into your split. All right. Bring yourself into a hamstring stretch position. Give yourself a break. Are then you can forward fold. Keep the leg maximum straight and just forward fold over it. Just give yourself a break. And come on out of that. All right, before we do the other side, talk to me. Now here's my only rule with back bending. When we're taking breaks, we need to take breaks in the comfy Sphinx position so that we don't lose what we just opened up in our hips. Make sense? Because if you sit very Daljeet sitting, you're gonna lose everything that you just worked on. Make sense? So when I'm doing my back bending training and I need a break, it's always in a comfy Sphinx. I decided we're not gonna do Cobra together today because I feel like we're doing enough in one session. We can always do it another day. So talk to me about that experience.
That was misery.
But wasn't it? It was awful. I wanted to swear, but I'm like, I better not swear in case there's children watching. And like the worst, I was almost going to make you extend your neck back and try and touch the wall. And I'm like, maybe not today. Maybe not today. But Tammy, you can do it.
No, I cannot.
No?
Mhm.
I think it was a good call for me not to go there today.
That was amazing. I can't believe I even did it.
Yeah, but like I think Renee, you're very mobile. Like your back line is amazing. I think that you can at least start when you have the hands overhead. Let me get into the position quick fast. You can start to have the hands overhead and extend the neck like you're looking for the wall. So you have to find the shoulder rack with the arms overhead so that the spine has room and the neck has room to extend. So I'm not the best demonstration model because I'm not a contortionist. I'm just a random dentist. Not trying to make excuses for myself here. See how like there's a whole like order of operations. Like you get in this position, then you straighten that leg, and that's how far you know you need to go. Pull the string over the head. So I saw a lot of you coming forward. That was me at first too, which is normal. Took me a while to finally be able to get myself up here. Took a long time for that. So the arms are overhead without coming up. So you can't come up. You gotta stay down. Start to maximally extend the neck and look for the wall. And if you can, just touch it with like your fingertips. And then if you can even start to put your hands on it and then start to push. And then eventually you can walk down and try and grab your foot, which is really awful. For me, it's awful. I think, Tammy, you can do that because I've seen your needle poses.
No, I'm not even close. My foot's a mile away.
And honestly, this is what holds me back is my stupid left shoulder. It's hard for me. Oh, I'm not following the rules. Okay, so Renee, I think you're ready to start to do the maximum neck extension. Like pretend I put like $1 bill behind your neck and you have to crush the $1 bill between like your occiput and your, I don't know what that, you know what I mean. You can't let it fall out basically and you have to keep crushing. Oh my gosh, yeah. Neck extension is a really important part of back bending and the back bridge. So I'm going to be teaching it with neck extension. And in part 1 of the clinic, I gave you that exercise with the, am I boring you? With the yoga strap, where you put it behind the head and you do all those things that just feel awful. So we need to do the other side. I really have to pee really badly. I don't think I'm going to make it through the other side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to test you to get into the starting position while I quickly pee, and I'll be right back, and being will help you out. I'm back, I'm back, I'm back, I'm back. Okay, other side. Oh, look at you guys. So good, so good. All right. So did you do your 10 butt squeezes yet? We'll do them together?
Yeah.
All right. So, well, I'm not on it right. Okay. All right, we're gonna pull the string on the top of the head, and we're gonna scoop in the abs. So ribs are down. We're not flaring up, ribs are down. And find your bum by squeezing it 10 times. And I'm a fan of touching my bum. I find that when I touch my bum, that helps me find what I'm doing better. So maximum squeezes. Make your femur maximum tall. Feel that hip open up. Hips are square. And I love being silently judged by my Siamese cats while I do this. All right, I got 10 done. Did you get 10 done?
Mm-hmm.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to shimmy, staying upright. We're going to shimmy the front foot out so that we get a straight leg. And don't lean forward. If you lean forward, I'm calling the cops. So keep the string pulled as you start to come forward. So you can see I didn't lean forward, rather I'm driving using my glute. I'm driving this knee forward over the ankle as much as possible. So I'm actually pushing my foot into the wall to help me do that. So I'm actually pretending like somebody's grabbing both of my fingers and ripping them apart. Connecting them apart into a maximum split. And I'm pulling the string on the top of my head and thinking about my hip moving south towards the floor. All right, same side hand, touch your bum. Got my hand under my glute here like a bowling ball. Without rising up, you're gonna squeeze that glute 5 times. Really feel how that opens up that back leg hip. All right, you're gonna take same side hand and grab the back without rising up. So don't pop up, stay down. Grab onto it, so we can do that horrible sequence together. All right, ready? You're gonna push into your hand for 3, 2, 1. Relax, exhale without coming up. Pull the heel to the bum. Breathe. And again, push into your hand maximally for 3, 2, 1. Relax without coming up. Bring the heel to the bum. Breathe. Last time, push for 3, 2, 1. Relax, get the heel to the bum. Ooh, I hate this, I hate this, I hate this. Ooh, I hate this. All right, bring it back to the wall. Push your foot to the wall and see, oh yeah, I opened up. Did anybody open up here from that? Did you think more?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you take a look at me right now, it looks like I'm in a beautiful stag position. Look at that split. See the front split? Tammy, why can't I do this in a handstand, this kind of stag?
I don't know. It's probably a mindset thing because it's not a strength or a flexibility thing.
Okay, this is what we're doing next. We're going to actively do little hamstring curls without rising up. So bring the heel to the bum actively for 5. Oh, I hate these. Oh, these are awful. Oh, hamstring cramp. Oh, yum. Okay, now push your foot in the wall. See if you can get the knee even further over the front ankle. Hi, Bean. You here to make us feel better? Thank you. right, we're gonna raise one arm up overhead. Then see if you can raise the other one up and really sink into that back hip. Open it up and hold this while breathing. If you want, you can start to play with extending your neck. When you've had enough, come back to your hamstring stretch position. Maximum straight leg, everything's maximum here. And you can lead with the belly button with a nice forward fold. Get a little stretchy poo. That front leg hammy. And you can come out of that when you're ready. And get into your comfy Sphinx, grab water. Get into your comfy Sphinx. We're going to stay at the wall. I'm going to grab some water. I'm going to explain to you what we're doing next. So what we have next is moose on the wall with moose squats, and then we're going to get into our bridges. You can see the order of operations here. I've opened your shoulders. Your back line muscles are all firing, including your glutes. Your hips are now open. So now we need to open up your upper back more, your mid and upper back, before we do bridges. Let's take a look at a bridge. So you can see the whole point of opening up the hips so that we can get the glutes really engaging and getting the hips up towards the ceiling. So now what we need to open up right now is this upper back area. We're going to do that with the moose on the wall and the moose squats. You can see how we already opened up our shoulders earlier. Let's see here. Trying to find a good bridge. Okay, so I actually have very crappy, like what's holding me back is my upper back extension and my neck extension. It's not very, I mean, it's better than the average person, but it's not very good. So that's what's holding me back right now. So this next exercise we're going to work on is going to specifically target this region here. All these photos are going to be in the clinic. I've been making all the graphics. It's been fun. Okay, so for moose on the wall, Renee, you have to be in your comfy Sphinx or else you're breaking the rules. Thank you. Okay, so with the moose on the wall, the whole idea is that we're actually trying to increase the curvature of the spine. You've probably seen me do this in my social media stories. We're going to keep our neck maximally extended so the chin stays off the wall. So we have to think of that dollar bill that we're trapping, you know, between the head and our upper back area. What we're going to, I'm just going to show it. Let me just show it to you. Okay. So I'll do a quick demo and then I'm going to talk you through the whole thing because watching it once, you're like, huh? The whole idea is that we want to be able to have Coco sit right on my back. So my feet are wider than hip width and slightly externally rotated. And it's easier to be a bit further away from the wall when you're learning. My arms are overhead and they're going to be like in a pronated position like you would be in a bridge. So what I do first is I maximally extend my neck. And I'm going to just bring my chest towards the wall. Now the whole time my chest is towards the wall, it's the area above my nipples that touches. We want the upper part touching. So watch again. Neck maximally extended, and then just bring your upper chest towards the wall. So to do that, you have to kind of MacGyver by arching and see my butt's up in the air, like it wants to be Miss America. And my chin is off the wall. Now I'm applying the shoulder wrap. Did you see that? no shoulder wrap, shoulder wrap, which allows my upper back to extend and my neck to extend. Now I'm going to scooch down by bending my knees about a centimeter. And now I'm going to keep my upper boobs on the wall. My chin is off the wall, maximum neck extension. This is so unpleasant. We're going to straighten the legs, maximum straight, and all the curvature is coming from my spine. Can we put a cat on my back yet?
Wow. Yes.
So
One more time, bend the knees, another inch. I skid my hands down the wall to allow that bend of the knees. And then maximum straighten. It's okay if your chest comes off the wall a bit, just bring it back. Shoulder up, maximum neck extension, upper boobs on the wall, so I'm pulling my ribs down. To come out of this, I bend my knees and reverse body weight. I need to get into a comfy Spanx. I'm sweating bullets. Oh! So you can see how this is opening the upper back, right? You don't have to do the squats. I first learned just by doing a comfy moose. Okay, so don't worry about the squats. You can do it if it's available to you. I'm going to talk you through the whole entire thing. Do you have any questions before we even set up? It's really not that bad. It really isn't. We make things harder than that. I would rather do this than a back bridge. I'm not kidding. I would rather do this than a back bridge. We look like I think we look like a moose. A moose on the wall. All right, so find your distance from the wall, and remember it's not set in stone. You can always shuffle your feet closer or further away as you're doing it. Wider than hip width, slightly externally rotated is easier with the feet. Hands are going to be shoulder width apart. Find your handstand arms. Now maximally extend your neck. Get that dollar bill pinched with the maximum neck extension. And now slide your chest towards the wall. Renee, you're way too far from the wall. You're way too far from, everybody's too far, way too far. I want you like, yeah, you saw how close I was. Okay, Nicole, I'll allow that for now, but you're gonna eventually be coming closer. Okay, so maximum neck extension, upper boobs touching the wall, chin does not touch the wall. Your tailbone is going up towards the ceiling. So what you're gonna need to do, because you're all so far from the wall, you're gonna bend your knees and squat down an inch. Or you're just gonna move do you wanna set up again? It's up to you. Tammy, you can set up again if you want. I feel like you're all way too far from the wall.
I feel like I'm too close to the wall.
You feel too close? Okay, that's fine. Like, fine. Talk to me now. We can make a new strategy for our second attempt. Talk to me now.
About a foot from the wall. Too close?
Let me see where I am.
More than a foot, like, I don't know.
Okay, so I'm like less than my, I also have really, really big feet. Yeah, you should be able to put one foot in front of the other, and then I'll let you back it up a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, and to make it easier, widen your stance. Make it less easier, it'll be less wide stance. But you just have to figure, like, this is just playing around at first to figure it out. Okay, so handstand arms, maximum neck extension. We're all gonna do this together. Maximum neck extension. Bring the chest to the wall. Upper boobs touch the wall. Chin does not touch the wall. Chin is off the wall. Tailbone is going up towards the ceiling. Knees are maximum straight. Now you're going to squat down 1 inch so the ribs skid down the wall, chest stays on the wall. And see if you can straighten those knees without sliding back up the wall. So that means your tailbone goes up towards the ceiling, you maximum arch. Nicole, you did it correctly. Renee's doing it correctly. Josie's she needs to go deeper.
Back's cramping.
Your back's cramping?
Yeah.
LG, is it possible to change your camera angle so I can get a profile view?
Oh,
Is that even possible?
let me try.
Yeah, I'm going to talk Renee and Nicole through what they're doing because they're doing really great. Can you bend your knees just like 1 centimeter, skid down the wall just a centimeter. Now very slowly straighten your legs, tailbone goes up to the sky, chin off the wall, maximum neck extension. Find your shoulder wrap. Find that shoulder wrap and see if you can extend your T-spine and neck even more in that position. Armpits move towards the wall. All right, now bend your knees, reverse body wave out of that. Yes, yes. Very good. Nicole and Renee, I feel like you two understand this and you've got it. Josie, it looks good what you're doing. And Tammy, that's starting to look good too. Delgi, I feel like you're too far from the wall.
Doesn't feel too good though.
No, it feels awful. It feels absolutely awful. Like Renee and Nicole and Josie, we could put cats on your back, same with Tammy. Delgi, I need you to be a little, that's too close. Wider stance, like almost, yeah, even wider for me.
She's sliding.
Right, she needs to take her socks off.
I'm quite wide there now. Try again. Okay.
So like ideally we want the hips stacked over the ankles, ideally. Like look at Renee, she's pretty close. See how her hips are stacked over her ankles, Daljeet?
Mm,
And see how wide, in her mirror, do you see how wide her legs are?
yeah.
Yeah.
That's an awesome place for a mirror. Like it makes it so easy to see everything. It's perfect.
Like honestly, thank you for doing that, Renee, because it's really helping us with this. Like
I'm remodeling my bathroom. That's my bathroom mirror.
we could literally put like a whole entire pizza on her back. Eat the pizza off of her back. Now, Jake, don't get hung up on this because to be honest with you, like I have no clue how all of you guys are learning this faster than like you didn't want to know how slow of a learner I am. It took me forever to figure this stuff out. All it takes is like you tried it. So now you try it again, it's going to make more sense. And we can review this stuff in like other Zooms coming up. Like you guys can pick the next topic and we can go over this stuff again. It might help for you to actually play with the stuff in the clinic once I've launched it in a few days. And then we could always reconvene and go over everything again. And that way you're like, oh, well, this is weird, or I'm not sure about this or that. So let's go right into, do you mind if we stay overtime? Because I know it's like almost 6 o'clock, but we've done all of this work. I'd really like us to do a bridge before we close the session. So with the bridges, Tammy, you're not in a comfy space. Thank you. So with the bridges, who's done bridges before? Tammy has. Renee, have you done bridges?
Yes.
Jazzy, have you done them somewhat?
I have. I just can never straighten my arms.
Okay. So I'm going to show you what we're going to do. We're going to start off by getting comfortable, getting the strength we need by doing the tabletop bridge. Really maximum pushing. Notice that my shoulders are stacked over my wrists and my knees are stacked over my feet, and we're really driving up, like the glutes are on fire. Remember I told you I get DOMs in my glutes? We're gonna really use the glutes to get the hips up, like I tied that chain to your hips and I'm pulling them up to the ceiling, like this is like a Saw horror movie. So we're gonna start with this just to really make sure that our glutes are doing what we need them to do when we actually do the bridge. And this is gonna teach you that feeling of how the glutes extend the hips in a bridge. That's why I'm showing you this first. Then we're gonna do a headstand bridge, where all we're gonna do is push up and stick our head on the ground, like that, okay? It's really not hard at all. The key is that we don't wanna dump into the neck. So that means we're going to be pushing through the feet and the hands so that we don't, dump all our body weight into our neck. Then we're going to, in this position, try doing a few mini push-ups. We're not even trying to straighten the arms yet. We're just pushing up, just going to strengthen the triceps and get us primed, because then we're going to try it all again and push up. And it doesn't matter. See how my arms are bent here? That's what a lot of us are going to end up looking like. And in fact, when I first did it, I was on my tippy toes. Because when you're on your tippy toes, when you elevate your feet, it makes it easier if you don't have enough mobility yet. So Daljit, that's what I'll get you to do, is go on your tippy toes and try to just get comfortable pushing.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what actually my bridge first originally looked like, was that. And that's what most people's bridges look like when they first do it. Then what happens is we start to straighten the arms. So I'm looking at the, yeah, we start to straighten the arms, but I'm still on my tippy toes. Or you can put your feet up onto like a stool or a bench or the side of your couch or something to really make it a lot easier for you. Notice my shoulders are behind my wrists. They're not stacked over my wrists. That's the normal next progression. Then the next progression is to actually get the heels down while keeping this straight. And then a fun progression is to do a rainbow bridge where both the arms and the legs are straight. In all of these cases, notice the shoulders are behind the wrists, which is easier. However, it's more taxing on your wrist. You see how you have to maximally hyperextend your wrists to actually be in this easier position. And if your wrists feel terrible doing that, the workaround is to go on your tippy toes or to elevate your feet on something higher. Or I'll show you another trick with yoga blocks under your hands to make it less awful on your wrists. Then, like, it's taken me 2 years to get to this point. Then what we're looking for is the shoulders over the wrists. So you can see my shoulders are stacked over the wrists. This is the feet elevated version. So you can see I use like my pink mats under my feet here. Whereas here I'm on my tiptoes. Notice how much my glutes are on to get my hips up. Then the next progression is the feet down with the shoulders over the wrists, straight arms. Then a fun, pretty variation is the rainbow bridge where both the arms and legs are straight. Ideally, you want the legs together, but that's very hard on the low back. So I would not suggest that unless you're like pretty high level. And then like, I can't do this very well, but then the next progression is the shoulders beyond the wrists. And this is a tall bridge. And I cannot show you what a tight bridge looks like because I'm not a contortionist, but they can actually like get their hands and feet like almost like, actually they can get them touching. Like the goal is to get the hands and feet as close together as possible. So when you first start out, I don't care that your hands and feet are far apart. All I care is that your glutes are maximum glutes, maximum bum. That's all I want you to think about at this stage in the game. Maximum bum, and please breathe. You're gonna do shallow bunny breaths through your nose. You don't want to hold your breath because you're going to feel like you're going to pass out, especially in such an uncomfortable position. So I want maximum bum and bunny breaths. So let's start with the tabletop variation. So go to the middle of the room. I don't recommend socks because you're going to slip everywhere. Find something where you're going to be having like, good traction control. And the whole idea here is that we want to apply the shoulder wrap to the back bridge when we do the back bridge. But that doesn't really happen until you can straighten the arms. Okay. So for the tabletop, you're going to have your feet about hip width apart. And your hands will be about a foot behind your butt right now. I had to put the liquid chalk on my hands and feet because my rug is very slippery and I will wipe out if I don't. Yeah, so your hands are about a foot behind you. Your fingers are pointing towards your heels. And then what you're going to do is you're going to engage your glutes maximally and extend your hips up maximally as close to the ceiling as humanly possible. Get your hips up into the reverse tabletop. Now, do it so you can see yourself, so you can see if your knees are stacked over your ankles and if your shoulders are stacked over your wrists. You want your arms maximum straight, so push into the floor like you're angry at the floor. And try and hold it for about 10 seconds. If you have tight shoulders, you're going to feel this. Maximum hip extension. Your bum should be burning. Whoa, my bum. My bum. Get into your comfy Sphinx. You know the rules. Did you feel your bum? You didn't feel your glutes doing that? Did everybody else feel their glutes doing that? Yeah. Okay, Nicole, do it again for me quickly and squeeze a $100 bill between your cheeks. Get your hips up higher to the ceiling. Like there's a yes!
There we go.
There you go, there you go. Push into use your heels.
Oh.
Really push the
No, my hands are sore.
Okay, good.
They're really sore.
You understand why I told you I get DOMs for 2 days after? I am maximum bum. Maximum bum. Like, that's the voice I want you to hear. Every time you do bridges without me, hear my voice saying maximum bum, maximum bum. Okay. So we're going to do the headstand bridge. So I'm going to quickly demo that with the push-ups, and then I'll get you to do it. Now, for bridges, I actually like my feet slightly wider than hip width apart, and my feet are slightly externally rotated. Now, I'm actually applying an internal torque, like as if you're crushing, like, you know, the yoga block between your thighs when I'm doing the bridge. And it's important to apply an internal torque, because if you apply an external torque, what that does is it locks your SI joints, and it'll prevent you from being able to extend your hips. Okay? So you want that internal torque, like as if I'm going like this too, and you have to go. So feet are planted near your butt, and you're going to put your hands so your fingertips are at about forehead level. So here's the thing about bridges. The closer you put your hands to your shoulders, the harder it is to push up. The further away they are, so like, see how they're at my forehead level, the easier it's going to be to push up. So as a beginner, I don't suggest you try and be like this. I suggest you be a little bit more forgiving. And ideally, we want our hands to be shoulder width apart, just like they would be in a handstand. So what are we going to do? We're going to do maximum bum. So my bum, like, see how I'm actually starting with my glutes? My glutes are already on and working. And I'm going to push hard into my hands and heels, glutes doing the work, and just rest onto the crown of my head, but my glutes are still on. So I'm not dumping my body weight into my head at all because my glutes are on. Now my glutes are maximum on. See how much I'm extending them? Now I'm going to see, I can reposition my hands to get like comfy with them. And I'm going to see if I can just push up an inch and lower. An inch and lower. Maybe go a little bit more and lower. A little bit more and lower. Congratulations, you're actually doing your first bridge and you don't even know it. All right, so I'm in a comfy Sphinx watching. This is really good triceps conditioning. It's also good if you want to learn how to do handstand push-ups conditioning. Remember, your bum is your friend, maximum bum. Hips up as much as, yes, Renee, it's beautiful. So you're going to notice that if you shimmy your hands in a little bit closer together so they're shoulder width apart, it's probably going to feel stronger and a little bit better for you. So if you look, remember I told you I took a picture of myself doing the bridge from the weird angle? That's me in a bridge. My hands are actually a little bit wider and shoulder width apart. But if you look at a contortionist doing it, they actually have it directly under their shoulders when they do it. But that's just something that I think will come with increased mobility and experience. So when I first started out, obviously, most people, when they first start out, will have a little bit of a wider placement and then blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I think that went pretty well. So I think that knowing that you can do that without crapping your pants and dying, let's go ahead and do a full bridge. Now, remember what I told you? You can go up on your tippy toes as you start to push more. And don't freak out. I want you to start with the headstand bridge. So get into the headstand bridge. Maybe do a couple of push-ups just to give yourself a boost of confidence, and then do a maximum push-up, even if you have to get on your tiptoes. So let me show you what that would look like. So glutes, maximum bum. See that? It's already starting. Onto my head. Repositioning my hands so that I'm content. Repositioning my feet, whatever I need to do. And I'm going to do some mini pushes. Mini pushes. All right, I'm not dying. I have no reason to die. My glutes are on. I'm just going to give it a good push. If I need to, I'm going to go on my tips, my tippy toes. Now I'm going to find that shoulder wrap and extend my neck maximally. And if you can, bring your heels down. And then to come out of it, just tuck your chin to your chest. So at this point, we're not trying to walk our feet in towards our hands yet. We're just doing a comfy, regular bridge. So everybody get into the starting position. We're going to first find the bum and get on the crown of our head. Reposition your feet and hands as necessary once you're in the headstand bridge. Now, pump yourself up with a few push-ups just so that you have confidence. And then give yourself a bigger push if you can. And go on the tiptoes if you need to. This is looking great, Nicole. Can't believe this is your first time doing it.
It's been a long time.
Wow. Maximum neck extension. Maximum bum, maximum bum. Give me maximum bum. Now find the shoulder wrap. Find that feeling. Yes! Look at Nicole. Nicole, can you walk your feet in a little bit? Walk one foot at a time, then the other one. Yes. Maximum bum. Give me maximum bum. Try and straighten your legs. Good.
All I can do.
Look at your fingertips. Yes. They come out as you need. No. Yeah, slide your feet forward. Keep sliding. Yeah, keep sliding them forward, and then just tuck the chin to the chest and come down. Coming out of it is the worst part. It's so ungraceful for you.
Holy crap.
That was unbelievable. You should be a contortionist. You've never done this?
No, I was in gymnastics when I was a kid.
That was unbelievable.
I mean, we're talking like I was probably under 15.
Yeah, but your neck extension, your upper back extension, you got your hips up. Holy cow.
Yeah, I'm a little bit too mobile, and I used to not have a lot of strength, and I've had a lot of pain because of it, because I lack strength, but I've been too loose. Yeah.
So this is where all these strengthening exercises will give you the confidence that you can do this and stay safe, because you're building up the strength in these positions with all these annoying exercises.
I feel it in my back.
Where did you feel it?
You know, like right here.
Okay, so that means we need to get more glutes and more push through the heels and push through the hands. And that will stop you from dumping into the L5. What happens with people who are hypermobile when they do bridges is they actually end up dumping into a pivot point, which is, Josie, you already know the pivot point. Do you want to tell us what the pivot point is? The L4, L5, S1. That's the pivot point. So if you don't have, let's look at this one. This is a good one here. Not this one. Here. So if you don't look like the letter N like this, where you actually have the lats pushing, the glutes working, and you have the actual opening. She has the opening. If you don't have the muscles working throughout the whole entire back line, what ends up happening is you rely on your hypermobility. And so now, since these muscles, like that muscle's not working or these muscles aren't working, then you just dump into the pivot point right here. And you feel it here.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is don't walk your feet in now. And just work on doing, where is it? Is this one? Work on doing the simpler positions like this so that you aren't dumping into your back. And then once you build the strength in this position where you don't feel anything in your back, then you can start to play with walking the feet in and getting the shoulders more over the wrists. I mean, considering
Like a wider curvature, you know?
Yeah, it's a bigger arch. It's more like this versus, it's not a tall arch. It's more of a spread out arch.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you can build up the muscular strength in this scaled bridge and then gradually tinker with making it a tighter bridge over time. But considering like you haven't done this in forever, I mean, you haven't really built up the muscular strength yet.
No, not at all.
But it's cool because we know you can get there.
Yeah.
Like you could probably do chest stands.
What's
Okay,
a chest stand?
do you want to do another one or are you done?
No, I'm done.
Okay, so so the rule with the bridges is that we have to close out our core afterwards so that we don't hurt ourselves. Because a lot of times, you know, if your TBA isn't firing after you do stuff like this, you can mess up your back. And Nicole will be the first one to be like, yeah, I agree with you right about now. So we're going to close out with, you can do whatever you want. You can do the bugs, you can do a set point, you can do hip flexor raises. I'm going to do probably some bugs in a set point. You can do an L sit, prep, whatever makes you happy. Are you okay, Nicole?
Yeah.
Does it hurt?
No, I'm okay. I'm all right. That actually felt a lot better doing that.
Okay, so congratulations on doing back bridges. Was it really that bad?
No, it's good.
You do like
I was actually very scared about the bridge. I'm just happy I lift off. I think I only did 2 seconds, but it doesn't matter. I
matters.
never thought I could do this.
Most people don't have the strength to even push up. So I love those headstand push-ups, the headstand bridge push-ups, because it kind of gives you confidence to be like, oh, I'm actually already doing it. Okay, I'll just push up more. It's not a big deal. I feel like this is something we need to revisit for sure. I also appreciate that we're all at different levels too. So I want to be able to accommodate the different levels as well. Let me know how you're feeling right now and what you would like to explore next time. If you want to just take the mic and take turns, please do that.
I just want to say thank you, because I have been in pain forever, gone to massage therapists, Reiki, acupuncture, Rolfing, everything, and nothing cured my back pain except for you. So thank you.
Thank you
Yeah.
for telling me that. I really appreciate that. It means a lot to me to hear that. Thank you. I'm really happy that you're not in pain.
Thanks.
So I noticed that you were killing it. It was obvious to me that you weren't in pain. I think that you might have a calling with back bridges. Do you like the back bridges?
I do. But I've been working on my TBA is really weak, and I had no idea. And I'm just like, why didn't those physical therapists, so expensive, just tell me to strengthen my TBA? You know, it seems to be that was it, you know? And that's what I'm really trying to focus on now.
You know what? I mean, I'm a physical therapist, and I can tell you that we didn't learn this in school. So there's only going to be certain physical therapists